Are homes ever going to be affordable again in Arizona? That is the number one question I'm getting from my clients, both buyers and sellers. Dave Z with the Dave Z Home Team at eXp Realty. I've been doing real estate for 20 years here in the Valley, and this is probably the number one question I'm getting. Houses are so unaffordable. I was with sellers the other day that think about selling a home they bought back in 2011. I wish we all had a time machine because we'd go back there right now. They paid $130,000 for a home in Gilbert that's now worth probably $530,000. So just in 13 years, they've quadrupled their money almost. When I asked them, do you know what your house payment would be if somebody were to buy it today? Been paid for, they had a small mortgage, they paid it off quickly. They said, no, we don't really know. They actually live in Canada. So I said, well, interest rates are here. They're almost 7%. And we typed into a mortgage calculator and I said, somebody were to buy your home today, it would be $3,600 a month. Their jaw nearly hit the floor. Imagine they bought this home 13 years ago for $130,000. They've had very little payments on it. And the thought of that house at that price, I said, would you do it? They're like, no, we wouldn't buy. But that's the problem, right? Is affordability. What if I could tell you, you can make homes affordable again right now? I want to tell you about a buyer that I'm working with right now. We're going to call him John. I helped John buy a property that just appraised for $605,000. We purchased it for $530,000, and I got the seller to get my buyer over $20,000 to pay down his interest rate to 5%. So he's buying it below appraised value, and we are getting enough money to get his payment exactly where he wanted it to be. So we can't get a time machine, but the next best thing we could do is roll back interest rates to what they used to be. Right now, there is a window of opportunity here in Phoenix. We don't know how long it's going to last. And that opportunity is our supply and demand is getting a little out of balance. A year ago, we had, I'm going to pull the numbers up here on the screen, we had 54% of the supply that we should have had. So normally, for how big our market is, we had half the sellers that we should, and we only had, I think it was 74% of the buyers. So buyers were 74% of what they should be, and sellers were 50%. That big spread gave the advantage to the sellers. In any market, I don't care if you're selling cars, houses, watches, if you got more buyers than sellers, you can charge more for your product. Flash forward to today, that was a year ago. Today, buyers are now sitting at 75% of what they should be. So they've only moved up about 1%, but our supply has risen to 80%. Once you invert and sellers become more abundant than buyers, prices fall in every market. So we just haven't seen it yet. But in the Phoenix market, we can expect to see prices fall because sellers are going to now start doing what they need to do to sell, or they'll get rid of their houses, they'll keep them, they'll expire. But we're working with clients right now that have to sell. They've already relocated. Their home's already vacant. They have no choice but to sell. Those sellers are going to now compete for fewer buyers, and they're going to start lowering their prices. So if you want to see if you can get the affordability to get a time machine back to a better interest rate, let's go see if we can get you 4.5, 5.5. I just helped somebody else get a 5.25 rate. These are permanent. These aren't these little temporary buy downs. We're getting enough money from the seller to buy it down to make homes affordable. So the answer to the question, are homes ever going to be affordable again? They are for some of our clients. So I invite you to reach out to me. Let's see if we can get your seller on the home that you want to do the same thing. Come down a little bit, give you enough cash at closing to your lender to buy down that rate. And let's make your home affordable. Dave Z with the Dave Z Home Team, eXp Realty.